analysis or rhetorical analysis essay. Where would you find your credible sources? Now, as I always say, the highest order of truth in our world comes in the form of peer-reviewed journal articles. A peer-reviewed journal article is an article that has been vetted, gone over, judged, evaluated by members of that discipline. So if it's an astronomy journal, they will actually, and a paper is submitted saying they found a new planet, they will actually, these are the reviewers, they're high-level members of that discipline, they will actually point their telescopes. They'll use what you have put in your paper and point their telescopes at that star or that new planet and try to find it. If they can't find it, they'll consult you. If they still can't find it, they will not publish the paper. So therefore, it's verified. These are verified documents, and that makes them, well, like I said, the highest order of truth that we have. It's the best stuff we have. So if you're writing a paper in just about any college class and you need credible background sources, credible secondary sources, these are the go-to places. Now, where do you find them? You find them on databases like JSTOR and Academic Search Complete. You find them in databases like Gale Opposing Viewpoints. And I will demonstrate how to find that here. Okay, so using Austin Community College as the example first, you want to go to the library, or you can either just go to the library, type in library, into the search bar, and then you can go to library services right there, or if you're slightly more imaginative, you can go to the A to Z list of databases. Okay, from the library services, you notice that you have the ACC library has a really well laid out interface here. Notice that they have a librarian available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for you. You can chat with them. You can call them. You can Zoom a librarian. You can email them. It's spectacular. I couldn't ask for more. So in any event, if you're looking for ebooks, which are also a great source, now keep in mind, most of the world's common knowledge, regular knowledge, is collected in books. For the longest time, when you wrote a research paper, you would be relying on books. Here's a place where you can find books, but more precisely, here are the journals, right here below that, if you can see where my mouse is there. Now, forget that. Let's go to list of databases, A to Z. And here you go. Here are the databases listed A to Z. Using the University of Texas at Austin as our example, I'm just going to type in library databases here in the search bar, hit enter, and then here you go. Lo and behold, there they are, the databases A to Z. Boom. Okay. Now I mentioned several. I mentioned several databases there. Let's go. Let's do it on ACC. What is a database? I want you to remember that a database is a higher container. It's a second container. If you're using MLA, your first container will be the journal itself, and that will be italicized. Your second container will be JSTOR. JSTOR is a database. JSTOR is a repository of journals, and within those journals come articles. So it is a container of containers. Okay, you have a couple that I recommend. Now, anywhere you can find peer-reviewed journal articles is fine. However, let me give you some caveats. If you click Academic Search Complete, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. Stand by a moment. Okay, I'm in. Now, that's pretty good. This is Academic Search Complete, but look right here. You've got on this one, you must click Peer Reviewed. See that? Peer reviewed, peer reviewed, peer reviewed. Okay. On this one, you want to make sure that you choose the right types. You're looking for English, since this is a class very likely as attached to an English department. And you want to choose an academic journal here. There might be instances when you choose some of these other types of repositories, but generally these are going to be academic journals if you're writing in literature or rhetoric. Okay. There's also books in the form of ebooks here, so that would be helpful. But this is not your first go-to place, Academic Search Complete. Your first go-to place is JSTOR. So just click J right here. JSTOR is a very, very high level repository of academic sources. I think it's probably the best. I mean, it's to the point where if you're getting a PhD in English, PhD in rhetoric, you'll be using JSTOR for your articles. So here we are on JSTOR, and let me say that practically all, virtually all, of the sources on JSTOR are peer reviewed. So you do not have to click any special document, any special little box for peer reviewed. They're just all peer reviewed, with some caveats. I mean, you can never use absolutes and say everything, all, everyone, always, but it's a pretty close estimation in this case. I recommend that you go to Advanced Search right here, and then you're looking for, it depends on what subject matter of the essay is, right? But you're looking for, if you're doing a literary analysis or a rhetorical analysis essay, you're probably looking for language and literature. See that? So you're going to click on language and literature here. Now you can see there's many other disciplines. You might click on feminist and women's studies if you want to add a little bit of feminism to it, although you'll get feminist criticism here too. You certainly will. You might, if you're doing like a psychological criticism paper, you might do, you can add to it with this, but just in general, you're going to want to choose language and literature, because what you're looking for literary analysis. You're looking for literary criticism. You're not looking for a report about science and technology. You're not looking for ideas. You're looking for criticism, literary criticism, maybe even rhetorical criticism. Now, when you're doing rhetorical analysis, you're unlikely to find criticism that is rhetorical analysis criticism of the article you are studying. That's not the case. That's more idea driven. Okay, but in any event, if it's literature, you're going to choose language and literature, and then you're going to go up here and you're going to put in a keyword here. Let's say Blood Meridian. This is my favorite novel, and then you can say a second keyword. We can say just Native American. How about that? And then, so that's going to allow you to search for Blood Meridian in all fields, and then you're going to, and then a Native American. Now you're going to want to click Articles. You don't want museum reports or miscellaneous or reviews. You might want books. And then the publication date, you can take this as deep as you want. But let's go to Submit Advanced Search. And here are your first round of searches. Now over here, you're going to have the ability to even further break it down, even further target your returns. I recommend using this area here to progressively enter more and more precise search terms, and more precise dates, and more precise disciplines, and that will narrow you and bring you to the articles that you want the most. Now let's take this one, Human Belief Systems and Cormac McCarthy's Blood Meridian. Okay, great. So say you like this. Now you don't really, notice it says journal article, and if it's a journal article on JSTOR, it's going to be peer reviewed. All right? Now, this is one of the beauties of JSTOR. They do keep their citations up to date. So if you click on this citation and you have your MLA right here, here it is. It even gives you the access date. Now there are some things you have to do. If there are grammar errors in the title of the article, you need to fix those. If the title of the article is all uppercase letters, you need to fix that. It needs to be title case. And as you cut and paste this into your paper, you need to get rid of the http:// retain the www, and make that link inactive. It should be text. And that text should flow to the next line without making a big break in the space there. Those are some of the things. Now, JSTOR, see that wacky little page number format they have there? That's correct. But sometimes that may not be correct, and you might need to fix the page number. Okay? So one of the things that is really good about this is that you can use this. I do not recommend using any of these tools down here. Write your own works cited page. You need to do a hanging indent. That's what they also call a reverse indent, and that means that the second and subsequent lines of each entry are indented, not the first. That's the opposite from a regular paragraph. So I recommend that you do your own works cited. I do not recommend that you rely on any online citation machines. The only one that I can vouch for is JSTOR. And even with that, you need to study what you have done very carefully. Now, a lot of times when you cut and paste, well, you have two options. You can cut and paste with formatting or without formatting. If you cut and paste with formatting, you're going to lose your font and font style. If you cut and paste without formatting, you're going to lose your italics. So either way you go, you have to spruce your MLA citation up to be the right font style, spacing, the italics. You need the italics for the containers. Notice Blood Meridian is in italics, and JSTOR is in italics. And Blood Meridian is the original book, so that's in italics. Texas Studies in Literature and Language is in italics, and JSTOR is in italics, because those are containers. So remember, you need to take that HTTP. If it's an HTTPS, take it off. Take off the colon, //. Keep the www. If it's a DOI, document object identifier, then you need to keep that there, but you don't need the HTTP. Okay? All right, that's that. Now, you don't have to go through these and read every single word of every single one of these articles. In a general sense, and of course, since I said it, this one doesn't have it. In a general sense, they will have a abstract right here. You read the abstract. And if the abstract seems like something that you would like to include in your paper or help you learn more about the subject, then read the article. You read the whole article. But if the abstract is not something that you really think is something that will work, just move on, right? Just move on. Now, do not ever just click on your browser. See up here, click on your browser and say copy, and copy that and think that is the URL. That is not. That's what's called a dynamic link, a dynamic URL. See all of those words in there. It has my search terms. It's probably encoded for my account, things like that. This is not what you're looking for. This stable URL right here, that's what you're looking for your works cited, okay? Now you can see that this has the full text document. All right, great. You can also use Google Scholar but you probably won't be able to access the full text documents, right? You probably won't be able to access the full text documents. So sometimes you can find excellent Google Scholar. Their URL is a little bit. I'm sorry. Their search algorithm is a little bit better than JSTOR. So you can find the articles there and then come back to JSTOR to actually retrieve the articles and cite them from here. JSTOR is your friend. JSTOR is your friend. So this process, whether you're doing it on the UT website, University of Texas at Austin website, or whether you're doing it on the Austin Community College website, it's the same process. Okay, these ideas are outlined in my research and writing guide, the Shanafelt Research and Writing Guide. Remember, here are some sources that are absolutely forbidden: private websites, Wikipedia, the encyclopedia, study notes like Cliff Notes, Spark Notes, etc., editorials, reviews, blogs, anything with no author. It has to have an author. How good could it be? How successful could this piece be without an author? They don't even want to list who wrote it. Well, that's no good. And anything with no title. Okay. Now, if you're analyzing rhetoric and you you need some opinion pieces, you might be able to get some pieces maybe from some of these lower level type of things, but really, if you're looking for an opinion piece, it needs to be an opinion piece in a national newspaper like the Austin American-Statesman under the opinion section. Okay? Now look at that dictionary, Essay No Dictionary. Well, there might be times when you need to cite something from the dictionary, but there is only one dictionary. There's only one dictionary that you may use, and it is the Oxford English Dictionary. Okay, otherwise known as the OED. Okay? This is the dictionary you will need to use, and you will access it through your library program, through your library's interface. Okay? You may also, these Wikipedia, things like that, it's just not quite there yet. We're just not there yet. Wikipedia can be good for your background information, and it can also be good to find sources, believe it or not, because they cite tons of sources on the higher, more looked after pages. You might be able to find some sources there, but do not cite Wikipedia. Oh, private websites and things like that are just garbage. Just total garbage. Blogs, just garbage. Okay? And the editorial is the same. An editorial is the opinion section of a newspaper or major publication. Okay? I say practically all the articles on JSTOR are peer-reviewed right here. So here are the acceptable sources. Books printed by reputable publishers. This usually comes in the form of ebooks today, and you can get those from your library. Major national newspapers and magazines containing news. A lot of these are like information articles, not persuasive articles, but mainly like informative articles, right? Newspapers, magazines. Journal articles. Now there's a couple of different types of journals. A journal is just a journal written by professionals, right? It's not peer reviewed. The documents in it, the articles in it, aren't peer reviewed. But what you're looking for is this peer reviewed journal articles, right? The highest order of truth in our world, right? And so let's look. Search JSTOR for peer reviewed journal articles covering your work and your topic. That will lead you to 1,000 different new angles, approaches, theories, topics, and subtopics. Most of them you have not considered. So here's the enemy of writing research. Don't write it about something you know. That's the whole entire point, is you're going to research and find out about the topic. And I guarantee you'll know a whole lot more about it after you're finished than you will before you went in. So that's the beauty of JSTOR. You can start seeing all of these different articles here, And then this informs your knowledge. Now imagine if Nikola Tesla decided only to research things that he already knew. Well, that's ridiculous, isn't it? So your first inclination for a topic for a paper is almost never the final topic that you write on, because you learn. Existing Without Content, American History and the Judge in Cormac McCarthy's Blood Meridian. Well, you hadn't considered this because you don't know everything. So this is why I say you inform your topic by your research. Your research develops your topic. You don't have some topic and then you go research it. You have a general category of a topic, and then you go find your specific topic through the research. Adjust your thesis to something cool, something that interests you. When you do database research, try something like Homer Iliad Historical. See, that would be adding the historical approach to the literature, to the criticism. Or Homer Iliad Psychological, or Homer Iliad Morality. Peruse the articles, titles, read the abstracts, and find out what interests you. Reverse engineer your topic. Reverse engineer your research question. Thesis and articles from the articles that you find. Yeah. Okay? You may find an article that you hate, and you want to debunk those ideas with other articles. Excellent. Right. You may find a large number of articles on a specific aspect of the text, and you adjust your topic to include or focus on those articles. Yeah. So again, peer-reviewed journal articles from JSTOR. All of your sources must have an author. And for peer-reviewed journal articles, JSTOR and Academic Search Complete. One other thing I want to make mention of is Gale in Context, Opposing Viewpoints. So let's go back to just the library databases. Yeah. So we're going to go to Gale. We're going to go to G. Just go up here to the top and go to Gale. Gale, in context, opposing viewpoints. Now, if you're writing a rhetorical analysis or even just a straight research paper on a topic, this is almost like cheating. Really. It is so well thought out that I'd say it's almost like cheating. So just briefly, let's look at this. Say you're going to do a essay on maybe you're doing a rhetorical analysis where the subject is e-cigarettes and vapor products. Click on here and look at what they have for you. See up here at the top? They have all the different types of articles, and these are, I presume, the best or the most important articles at that particular moment in time. And they have academic journals, images, magazines, viewpoint articles, video, statistics, reference, audio, websites, infographics. Look at that. News articles and related topics. And then they're all laid out for you right here like this. Like I said, it is darn near cheating. So, they've basically done your research for you. Now, if you're not interested in that specific topic or any of these topics listed, click on the overall heading and watch what happens. Now look at all of these topics. Wow. Okay. So this is Gale in Context, Opposing Viewpoints. Yeah. And so use this, Academic Search Complete, the Oxford English Dictionary, and JSTOR.